At the sound of these sirens, 7,000 people begin their work here at the largest industrial complex inside Milan. Even this 130 feet high tower is too low to enable us to see it all. Let's climb even higher with our helicopter. This is Innocenti, a rectangle a mile long and a third of a mile wide. We have come a long way since the distant 30s, since the astonishment created by those first towers with their revolutionary application of steel tube and an ingenious universal joint. This is the first factory in which development and research into various new uses for steel tubing were accomplished. Vein irrigation systems, rationalized housing fixtures, structures of absolutely complete safety, quickly assembled and cheaper than wood. While these towers rose higher, the man who had foreseen the importance of steel tubing to the growth of industrial society could see that he would have to do one thing: make the machines for making the tubes. In this way that Ferdinand Innocenti entered the field of big engineering. Then there were other sirens of war, leaving destruction, desolation, and silence. Then everything was rebuilt and work was resumed by day and by night. 1947, the first Lambretta is born, an engine and two wheels, just right for everyone coping with the hardships of post-war travel. Already contemplated during the war period, designed as a far-sighted industrial project, constantly perfected technically and stylistically, the Lambretta has quickly become a part of the everyday scene, an exquisitely social appliance. Right from the start, the Lambretta begins to collect a harvest of memorable feats. The fabulous voyages of lone heroes to the most distant parts of the globe. Impressive participation in audacious sporting events. The unbeaten world record of 125 miles per hour, international rallies with hundreds of riders through dozens of different countries and thousands of miles traveled. So far, 3.5 million of these machines have been built. Exported to 120 countries, the Lambretta is also built on a license in Spain, Turkey, Brazil, Colombia, the Congo, Iran, Pakistan, India, Ceylon, Formosa, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Malaysia. It takes just 50 seconds to build one. Watch. Right here is the brain center. Here, they are planning for the future, in step with the advance of technology and in collaboration with the greatest names of engineering in Europe and overseas. Every scientific resource is used for checking what is done today or what is planned for tomorrow. Chemical analysis. Microscopic examination of every material to be used. Non-destructive testing using X-rays or radioactive sources. And when the demands of safety require it, testing to the limit of destruction. This electromagnetic vibration test bed is the altar on which will be sacrificed the body of a Lambretta. A stroboscopic lamp helps to reveal the pattern of vibrations regulated in time and intensity by a programming device. This colored water is merely a photographic diversion we thought up while waiting for the body to crack. It has now traveled the equivalent of 200,000 miles of pretty rough road. (1957). Across the Atlantic begins Innocenti's biggest undertaking. The construction for the Venezuelan government of a complete integrated steel plant on the banks of the Orinoco River. A few hundred miles from the equator, the silence of the savannah is broken by the racket of the bulldozers. The undertaking is a total one, from foundations to buildings to machinery, amounting to $350 million. 279 ships operating for several years provide the shuttle service between Italy and Venezuela, unloading a total of 485,000 tons of material. After 36 million working hours by a daily average of 2,000 men, the plant goes into operation. The Orinoco plant carried two names, Italy and Innocenti, 6,000 miles from their homeland. (1960), a new stimulus to the company's development plans. the signing of the cooperation agreement with the British Motor Corporation. Thus, the name Innocenti makes its appearance also in the automobile market. The first model, the A40, is also the first successful issue from the new assembly line. A journalist names it the long-awaited car. Then came the fulfillment of one of youth's dreams, the Innocenti convertible. Then the IM3, the car of refinement, with hydroelastic suspension, no springs, no shock absorbers, no maintenance. The same system applied to the succeeding I4, the advanced car for the average owner. And finally, the Mini, the car which provokes the sin of envy. Let us see one grow. Offcuts are collected at conveyors running under the line of press. Under the watchful eye of the telecamera, they are then compressed and sent along for remelting and reuse. data center made up of two third-generation computers. These perform not only scientific calculations for the technical people, but also elaborate the data for production control and financial administration, the payroll for the 7,000 employees, and the commercial invoicing, which exceeds $150 million a year. Up to 60% of the machine output is exported. This four-high reversing cold strip mill being assembled is an integral component of a steelworking plant for Greece. Calculations, tests, and inspections must assure in advance the perfect efficiency of every complex, which shall and must function only at its final location. Neither would it be possible to do a complete functional test of many isolated parts intended to work elsewhere in conjunction with others, as for example the supporting ring for a steel converter. A careful determination of temperature is required for the exact measurement of the diameters. The exact positioning of the components of the structure is optically inspected. The scene changes from week to week. Now on the same spot, they are assembling and checking a perforating rolling mill for round bars. In the front line of modern ironworking technology, Innocenti creates and produces plants for continuous metal casting, a system which eliminates many of the processes of classical smelting, so arriving more rationally and cheaply at the finished metallurgical product. Inspections, checks, tests. Shipments to every continent. Let us look in at some plants in actual operation. A hot mill for steel sheet and strip. Cold mill for grain-oriented silicon steel. A Sensimir rolling mill for stainless steel. Over 200 of these are in operation throughout the world. The unique arrangement of the rollers inside the housing allows considerable reductions of strip thickness at very high speeds, over 2,000 feet per minute, with production costs held low due to the very short stopping time for roller changing. Also in the rolling of light metals, aluminium and its alloys, Innocenti is in the field with complete plants. clicking of the telex signals a steady stream of orders coming in from all parts of the world. This one from Moscow is for 142 presses for a car factory which another big Italian firm, Fiat, is building in Russia. Value of the order, $30 million. From Algeria, a semi-continuous mill for sheet and strip, the coordination and general responsibility for the plant and the erection of the buildings. Value, $20 million. Nearly every day, specialized vehicles pass through our gates. Their loads all carry one name only. Destination, the whole world. The man who gave life and energy to this enterprise is remembered here today. Each morning, the sirens call his people to work. Other sirens in other continents call other people to work on plant and machines which bear his name. Although absent, his work is not ended. We carry on.